One.
Hello, and welcome to the Woman's Cave.
Well done.
Well done. High five. Social distance style.
Oh, I love that.
I love it. I love it so much.
I feel like I want to do it again, but
high five. Social distance.
I was about to say it feels like it would be like so corny, but
hello. We're us. You know,
yeah.
Like
that's
corny is our life.
It is. Corny is our life.
Yeah, I mean seriously.
I was about to make a corny joke off of the corniness.
Okay, that was
too much.
Winona, that's too far. But I'm Jade, and that's Winona.
Oh yes, hi. I don't know why.
Oh yes, hi. Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so last week you booked on an interview. This week you're just waving to you. Hello, because you didn't tune into my show at all. Hello. What are we gonna do next week? What are we gonna do next week?
So you guys, I didn't feel that.
Oh my goodness, no. I mean it
was like my first day out of bed.
Yeah.
No, it was not corona.
I mean, she just had regular sickness. And how bad is it in the world where you have to be like, yay, you're regular sick. Yay! That's horrible. But you're like so excited and the people don't have corona that you're like, you're regularly ill. Woo! Celebration!
I feel like I deserve a cake for being a regular
illness, man. I'm telling you, when my friends text me, I'm sick. I'm like, oh no, what's wrong? And they're like, oh no, it's just my allergies. I'm like, yes, allergies. I'm like, wait, no, boo, allergies. I meant boo. Oh my goodness, I feel like a horrible human being.
Anyway, now that we've gone on to levels of illness.
Too far. Yeah, we were literary life guys with
poetry, and I'm sure people are like literary life guys. Yeah, I can't learn anything from you guys.
Well, you can with Joyce, like with people that have regular illness. You can learn that from us, I guess. I don't know. Right?
But anyway, moving on.
And I thought the voice was bad, and I thought with other life lessons, and then I thought being grown up was easy, which has a redo. Like what?
So excited about the redo.
Okay, you check those out on Amazon.com, Barnes.com, but most importantly, just check it out on Audible. I mean, because why not? I'm pretty sure you're running out of things to stream, so you might as well just go on over to Audible and stream one of our literary life guides. Right?
I feel bad. Like, I mean, how many streaming services do we have now?
I know, like so many, because, I mean, when you're in your house for this long, you've got to do something. Also, all the rest of the And I Thought series, although I'm going to have to point out one more, because those are the two fan favorites, and one more that's a fan favorite, and it is And I Thought I Did My Journey Alone, which is one of our all-poetry books. And then we have the Misfit Guide series, and then we have If Only I Were Me, which is another all-poetry book, which is another starting to be a fan favorite, I think. I think people just like our poetry. I don't think they like our short stories.
I don't know. I don't really care.
I
shouldn't say that. I do care.
We do care.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then we are co-founders of the 25 Hottest Indie Authors, Artists, and Advocate magazine. And let's see.
Quickly, I want to say something quickly. So you guys, quickly, we do have the literary magazine out this month.
Yeah. And we're actually going to be getting one of those soon.
Yeah.
So we'll show you.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
So you find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. But you're not here to hear us drone on about whatever we talk about.
No, right?
Nobody wants to hear that. You're here to hear from our wonderful guests.
Wonderful guests, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Shandra Henry, a.k.a. Sister Sense, and what I do is I help entrepreneurs make sense of making money online, and I thank you. Hopefully I'm on time, and I'm excited about being here today.
Nice.
Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
I feel like someone that professional probably should have said a hard no.
Yeah, she should have said a hard no. Put it like in capital letters and bolded it and put like 17 exclamation points on it.
Like that teacher at a high school and said, no, it's a mess, thank you.
But let's move on. Let's move on from that.
So you also have a magazine as well, right?
I do. I've got Sister Sense magazine for entrepreneurs and Bright Colors for kids. Y'all are like sisters off of my own heart because I do poetry as well, even though I haven't done spoken word in years. But I was like, oh my God, they're poets too. I love it.
No, we're pop poets. Don't think we have poetry of substance. No. No. Don't get confused, y'all. It's not a substance. No.
It's fun to read.
It's fun to read.
It has to be the Ariana Grande of poetry, and that's us.
All of us cannot be Billie Holiday, although if I could be Billie Holiday.
I mean, come on. If we all could be, right? If we all.
started and making money online?
So it's funny because for me, I always say this. Sister Sense is literally about making sense and making money, because if there was something to try and sell, I was like, okay, so they said you can make money by clicking buttons. You can make money by, buying product, anything that had to do with the internet. I was all about it. I started trying to figure that stuff out when I was in college. And I fell into people saying to me, I like your website. Who did that? And I'm like, I did. So I kind of went from just kind of trying random different things to becoming a web designer and people liking my stuff. And that was kind of the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, falling into being a web designer, service professional. And honestly, I guess the best part of it for me is, outside of doing web design, being a self-published author. So I don't know if you guys are traditional publishing or self-publishing, but my hubby said to me, I like your poetry. And I was like, really? And I was just freaked out by the idea of going the traditional route. So I went to Barnes & Nobles. I stopped my behind on the floor and read everything that I could about self-publishing, and then kind of went into print on demand. So for me, I always tell people that the web is like my wild, wild west. I just was like, I'm going to claim every piece of this digital pie that I can, learn how to monetize, and almost 20 years later, I'm still doing it. So bless God, I'm still here.
Okay, so I want to talk about self-publishing, because why not? We are self-published poets, because we actually, I guess people would call what we do anthologies, but I don't call it that. I call it literary life guides, because I don't write an anthology.
Love it.
Oh, it's not it. There's no way in the world.
I've been in a few anthologies myself, so I love that.
Yeah, but I think there's actually a differentiation. Wow, I just made that word really long.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, that's not important because you're not here to hear about us, as we said before. So let's talk about you and self-publishing.
Yeah, so how did you begin that journey? I mean, I know you said you sat on the floor and you read a bunch. Did you get super confused?
No, honestly, I just felt like, take my superpowers. We all have them, right? So what is it that you're really good at, and make it work for you? So I love being creative. And so I designed back in the day in Microsoft Word, like my little poems, and I had little backgrounds behind it. And then I got the first platform that I used was lulu.com. And I still use that platform to today in combination with Amazon. But it wasn't that hard, I think. And honestly, for me, I was just super excited just to get that, I'm that crazy stationery person that likes to smell the papers, and it's new and it's fresh. So it was just an amazing experience just to see what I've put together in print and be able to share that with other people. So yeah, it wasn't hard at all. I think it was just really exciting to see the process of putting it in a notebook and then having it be something that was published.
I've never really thought about that process.
Yeah, it's a process. I have another question, of course. Right. So do you think that your background in being a web designer, and also obviously you know how to market yourself, helped you to be the success you are today, especially with poetry?
Absolutely. Because, I tell people that when I started my business, I was broke, for real. So, when they talk about entrepreneurs starting off on a shoestring, I'm like, baby girl, mine was floss. It was not no shoestring. That was too thick to describe what I had. So, any gift and talent that I could monetize without necessarily having to tap into other people or spend a lot of money. Like POD is great because with print on demand, you only need to print as much as you need, right? And then even I have one of them. Let me see if I can find. If I knew, I would have brought out some more of them. But this is my kids one here. This one is my Bright Colors magazine, and I lay out the whole thing. And this is something that I used to do layout design for my school's newspaper. So for me, it's like just kind of do what you like to do anyway in a way that you're going to create something that's going to make people happy. So I definitely feel like having layout and graphic skills made it more realistic and cost effective for me to self-publish and get into print on demand.
That'd be nice. So did you do a subscription for your magazines? I
do them individuals, even though people keep saying to me, do you have the subscription? And I'm like, no, because I'm like that kind of attention deficit person where it's like, you do these things and then you're onto something different. So I don't want to commit to doing like an ongoing subscription and not be able to keep it going. But I like to produce them when I feel the energy to, right? Which is one of the things I like about self-publishing, being able to kind of create on your time, right, and produce something that you feel good about.
So Sister Sense is your overall brand, your umbrella brand.
Mm-hmm.
And under that brand, and how can people be involved with Sister Sense?
So wait, say that again. Where is the brand? Is that what it was?
Sister Sense is like your umbrella brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is under it. What is actually under this umbrella? That's what I want to know.
Gotcha. Be
involved in it?
Sense is sistersense.com and SISTA, so it's sistasense.com. And there are quite a few things underneath the umbrella. So I realized that the techie world, when I started anyway, was very, very masculine dominated. And I wanted to find my sister girls who liked making money online. So I literally created a network, the BBWO network. We have almost 10,000 followers there. So that's underneath Sister Sense. And then I have my web design services because I still work with clients to help them build their websites. And then I create ongoing events like my annual Back to Business virtual conference. So it's a day. Like I will have anywhere between like 10 to 20 speakers. It's just amazing entrepreneurial people coming in. So it's kind of like this beautiful collection of services and events and networking and me teaching marketing and sales online. Anything that I feel like I want to do, basically, I put it underneath the Sister Sense umbrella. So I feel like that's the thing that we as people, not even just women, we as people can do. We can take these different parts of ourselves, like to write, like to do video, like to network with people, and then just make it this big holistic thing. Yeah.
So do you have to join to keep up with everything that you're doing, or can we just like sit back on the side and hope for the best? Because I know you magazines out.
There are people who just kind of go to Sister Sense and sign up on my email list to kind of follow with me. And similar to you ladies, I also have like a daily series that I do on live streaming, so people sometimes follow me via live. But I know I have a lot going on, so I'm just like, look, when something new is out, I'll make sure I update the lives and, I'll send out emails and things like that. But that's the easiest way. Outside of the community, people joining the network. And, most brands try to have like a Facebook group, and I try to have a few of those too. So I kind of dabble in a lot of different things.
Nice. Jay, did you want to ask your advice question?
Oh,
I've been waiting for it.
I was being gracious. That's your turn. So what are some like top 3 advice that you would give, I guess, young entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs, because a lot of people have gotten laid off now, and they're like, well, maybe I can make a business while I'm home. What are the top 3 things that you would tell them?
Good question. So for me, when it comes to starting, I always go with the demand, right? So think about the fact that there are people who they know they need, and they want something. And that's interesting, because some people need things, but they don't know, right? So sometimes we're passionate about selling something, but there's not really an audience for it, to be honest with you, right? So in this kind of climate, if you're furloughed, why can't I say it? Say it for me.
Furloughed.
Furloughed. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When if you're out of work, because the word is right now to pronounce it correctly, you want to think about, can I create something or can I offer something that's in demand, that people need, They know they need and they want it, right? It's kind of like thinking about fridges. You need a fridge, but do you need a stainless steel one? Or do you really, really want a stainless steel one? It's really about thinking about the demand. So for me, when it comes to entrepreneurship, number one, I focused on what people, again, need, know they need, and want. That's number one. Number two, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, there was a candy called Now or Later, but in Brooklyn, we call it Nihilators. They're like these hard candies, later situation, right? Now, there are some things like a book. A book may take you a long time to write, right? So you're going to have to put a lot of time into writing the book or maybe getting the book published, and that money is not coming now. That money is coming later, right? So you want to think about what can you sell now. And for me, there are a couple of things. Number one, you can sell a service now, right? If you can do something for somebody, you can package it today and sell it tomorrow, right? Number two, you can sell consulting now, right? You can say somebody's coming to you or several people are coming to you asking you questions, and you can literally get on the bandwagon of start educating, mentoring, coaching, consulting over the phone, right? You can do that now. Number three, you can sell products that other people have produced now versus you taking the time to produce your own stuff. So think about what's in demand, number one. Number two, think about what you can monetize and sell now versus later. Unless you're in a situation where you feel like you're financially comfortable to take your free time now to build up something. I always tell people at the end of the day, startups do not pay up right away, right? It's a baby, and you can't expect that baby to feed you immediately. So number three, you got to give yourself and your baby time to grow. And that's a hard thing, especially when we think about the web and instant gratification, and folks are like, created today, yay, right? It does take time, but if you keep in mind working on things that are in demand, working on products or services that you can produce and in real time get it up to test it out relatively quickly, then you can test, as I like to say, you can test till you get to your best, right? Figure out what works for you and, what people might like. But understanding that it is a process and it does take time. So those, I think, would be three things that I would say for newbies to consider, especially if you're trying to make some money right now. Work on those offers that don't take you so long to produce. That's a mouthful, I know.
Thank you so much. Those are really great. That's really great advice.
Yeah, I hear me over here thinking, I'm like, what do I have now? And I'm like, Jay, maybe we should run an ad.
Now, you know what's awesome? You all have so much experience in self-publishing, right? And so think about maybe people who may say, look, I want to self-publish too. What can I learn from you, right? That's something that immediately you can monetize. Information, right? We're in this information space where anything that you know, anything that you've been able to successfully do, there's somebody or several bodies behind you looking to get to where you want to be, or rather where you are. They want to be where you are, and they would just basically drink from your fountain of information. Just got to be creative about what that is.
Awesome. Thank you so much for giving us something to consider. We really appreciate it. So where can people check out more about you online, because we know you're everywhere?
So my home base, of course, is the website, sistasense.com. That's me, SISTASEN.com, SENE.com. And then, of course, on social media, I'm pretty much doing live streams every day on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. So just going to find me on these social media platforms, popping in every day, trying to say something to motivate others to work on, their money marketing and sales. That's what I try to do, and just, of course, enjoy this little life that I've created for myself, right? That's all we can do, right? Enjoy our lives and keep living in our purpose.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Would you like to wrap us up?
Yeah, I'm trying to be professional. I'm waiting for it. You can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. While you're there, take a moment, go to the ladies tab, go down to the middle, it's either charities that we probably support. Yes, we know the times are hard, so you might not be able to support them with money. That's fine. If you have extra clothing or something you were going to donate, maybe you want to donate it to them, like clothing and books and things. And if you don't have that, that's okay too, because, as we said, times are tight. You can maybe just go to their website, check out what they're doing, and just write them a little email and say, thank you for doing this good work in the world, because we all need encouragement to continue on in doing what we need to do. So we thank you in advance, and just remember, wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Ramona
and Jade. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening.